Hi everyone, an amazing opportunity to be here again, to be able to do this. It gives me a lot of joy and gratitude to be able to reach out to as many people as possible. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about the spiritual pillar, which makes up the personal developmental journey. Remember, there are three pillars that I emphasize all the time when I talk about the personal developmental journey. And just for the sake of those who just joined consuming the content, I will re-emphasize them. They are basically the physical, mental, and spiritual. But today we're going to be looking at the spiritual pillar and giving it a bit of light so that we probably or hopefully will be able to understand what that spiritual pillar entails and requires of us all. I don't know if you can remember growing up as a little child, and if you grew up in a circular family where you had to go to church you had to go to church in the morning with your parents, or maybe you lived with an auntie, an uncle, a grandparent, or somebody that always just gave you that need to want to visit the worship house of the Lord on a Sunday morning, and I think to myself that was an effort from those looking after us then to instill in us that belief in a supernatural power. This video is not tied to only Christians, it's tied to Muslims, all the divinities of the belief in a higher supernatural power, and why it's a pivotal pillar in the personal developmental journey is because at the end of the day, right, there has to be something higher than what we can logically put our hands on. And what does that mean? I'm saying that you have to believe in something that you cannot really frame around, or you cannot really articulate in the way that we have been brought up by our school and learning to be able to put things together. And what basically tied that into the spiritual pillar is what I call faith. Faith is that intangible thing that we cannot actually, hold or feel or put in our pocket or keep it in the store. And when we need to, increase our level of faith, we just literally go there and pick. It's intangible, like I said. It's something that's believing in something that you can't really grasp, right? But you know that it's a pivotal attachment to who you are. A lot of the times, especially for people that want that level of motivation, there's always that area that talks about, I have a purpose, I have a destiny, there's a reason why I was created. And that's the reason, that's a very singular reason why the spiritual pillar is very, very important. You have to believe that you were placed on earth for something great. You have to believe that there's something supernatural that kind of governs the way we are as humans. A lot of people talk about spirituality. I personally believe that a human being has two aspects to their lives, and those aspects are basically the physical, which is the frame I am in now, tied to a spiritual connection, a being, something that I can't really explain, but I can feel because I have faith in that point. And the reason why I'm saying this is that it makes a lot of sense when you are tied and attached to a spiritual connection. The reason singular to that attachment is basically this. There will be times in this journey where things that you cannot explain will happen to you. Even when you have everything in check, you've locked it down, you've done the routines, you've written down the goals, you've done your exercise, you've done everything. There will still be some supernatural things that would occur during the journey. And if you do not have a spiritual attachment, that pillar that kind of promotes the spirituality to what I am speaking about, then you are most likely going to fall off or discontinue the journey. The reason why I'm saying all this is very simple. You have to believe that your life actually means something more than you can explain, and only through this journey can you conceptualize what that real reason you were put on earth is all about. You have to look at it from that angle. You have to believe that luck is not something that just happens, but it's also tied to a spiritual concept that would always happen and interact as you continue to progress in this journey. Whoever's out there, like I said, it's not a message for Christians or a singular denomination of religion. I am not a pastor, neither am I a priest or an imam or any of the leaders in these religious sectors. I am basically the digital influencer. I'm someone who many years ago did not really believe in a spiritual connection, even though I was brought up in a spiritual way, right? I was one who believed in 1+1=2. But as I began to engage in the personal developmental journey, I realized that for everything to actually have a 360 connection, that is a pivotal element in the personal developmental journey. And I want to implore you today to start to grow that level, that aspect of your life, because a lot of things are tied. The other day I was speaking to someone and he was talking about how we all have some spiritual battles that we fight. There was this engaging conversation I had with a lady who's very spiritual and who said that as we walk around every day, that we also are walking amidst spiritual beings. And even though we can't see them or feel them or talk to them, they actually are amongst us. I don't know how true that is, and that also, I think, is also tied to the level and maturity of where you are spiritually. And it's maybe I haven't just gotten there because I haven't matured enough to be able to see these things, but I believe in a higher denomination. I believe that we were all put on earth for a particular reason. That nobody, no human on earth is just here because they have to be here. We are all here for a reason. But the singular problem is that we do not bring out that reason. There's no system. The society doesn't engage us in such a way that it is tailored towards bringing out that gift that we all singularly have. Instead, it is the other way around. There's already a set process you have to go through. You have to either go through school or you have to learn a trade, and it's all about being able to engage in these two elements and find a way to generate income, take care of your family, take care of your loved ones, live a more comfortable life until you die. But when you do tie the spiritual pillar into what you're doing, you begin to understand that there's a whole lot more. The dimensions are larger than what you're currently experiencing, and you can only feel that, you can only experience that when you begin to consciously put in effort to build your spirituality. Like I said, God is everywhere. You don't necessarily have to be in a temple. When I mean a temple, to be able to access Him, it could be something that you could be in your room, or you could say a prayer on your way to work, in the car, in the restroom, anywhere. He listens. And I think what is really important, so that the journey is a successful journey, you need to have that spiritual stamp on this journey. I want to implore you today, come on, take stock of your life in that spiritual aspect and start to think about how you can mature more, because the more you mature in this spiritual journey, the more dynamic the journey becomes. The more things that they say luck, there's nothing like that. You just notice that things just fall in place, as because you are also showing the spiritual, you're also showing that being that we can explain, that you really want this thing by doing the mental and the physical. And when that being knows that deep down inside of you, you really want to be where you want to be, you really want to become more, then that it just covers the whole process with that spiritual blanket. And what you find out is that you keep executing. If you execute 10 times, trust me, 8 out of 10 times, things will go in your direction. There are people out there today who don't believe in anything spiritual. People out there that just believe that they will come and go. I don't believe that, and I don't also floor those people who think that way. It's just the way they think, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying that if you want to be part of this journey, the spiritual pillar is pivotal and a very important element in the journey you will embark on. Like I said, A couple of years ago, I wasn't like this. I'm very logical, extremely logical. I felt like everything had to be in alignment with the amount of work I was actually putting into the process. But since I started the personal developmental journey, I found out that that stamp, that spiritual stamp, is a gateway into even more, more opportunistic events that will change your journey and eventually lead you into becoming all you were created to be. Remember, we are all unique in that sense. There's something gifted to you and I and to everyone that only through an intentional drive to bring it out can you really truly experience it. And that is what I have coined the spiritual pillar. Come on, guys. I don't want to bore you too much, but all I'm saying is that take stock of your life today, see where you are spiritually, and try to have some form of a plan. Hey, it's your digital influencer, and like I always say, let's all be all we can be, and I'll see you at the top. Cheers.